see constructor overloading. So what is constructor? So we used to initialize the constructor with the help of same class name, and we used to we will not give the return type of the return type for the constructor. So it is what mainly constructor is a special member function. So what is the special member function is like inside the class whenever a function is called, so it is a called member function. So among that constructor is a special member function. So because why it is called special member function is that so whenever a class is called, it automatically calls that function. So it is called special member function. So we already know that types in a constructor. So default constructor, parameterized constructor, and the copy constructor. So default constructor we used to not pass the parameters. So in parameterized we used to pass the arguments like the values of the values we used to pass. So in copy constructor we used to make the initialize another object like passing the object's address or some index name. So this is about constructor. So now what is constructor overloading? So in constructor overloading, so it is constructor overloading. So here what we used to do is inside a class we used to have multiple constructors with same class name. So among them we used to pass them with different parameters. So simply what it is like in constructor overloading in the class there will be multiple constructors in the name of the class, and each constructor will have different parameters. So that is the constructor overloading. So what are the rules for constructor overloading is that so we will be passing the same name for all the member functions. So that is the class name for all the member functions. So each constructor must have different parameters. So different parameters in the sense like you used to have different values for the parameter or different data type and different number of parameters. For example, if we are passing 3 parameters or 2 parameters, and for data type like integer double, so different data type. So each member function should have different types of parameters. So this is the main rules for constructor. So now can anyone guess what are the type of constructor can be used for constructor overloading? Like we have seen the example types of constructor as copy, default, and parameterized. So what are the types you can use for constructor overloading? We can also use default. So default also we can use. So here the basic syntax is like we used to initialize the class with class name. So inside the class in public we used to initialize the constructors, and here we have initialized as example of, so here this is default constructor is initialized, and here parameterized, and here so we can see that here no parameter is passed in this function, and here in this member function one parameter is passed, that is integer of x is passed, and here at last here 2 parameters are passed, that is one string name and x integer it is passed. So here we can conclude that it is satisfied the rules of constructor overloading. That is here we have no parameter, here one parameter and here 2 parameters. Also among these these are different data types. So next we can go with one example. Here person is the name of the class, and in public we have 2 constructors. One is default constructor and one is parameterized one. So one default constructor we are initializing the age to 20, and in parameterized one we are making age as a. So from we are taking arguments from A. So from in main function we are taking initializing the object like person 1 and person 2. So person 1 and person 2 they are initializing values 45. So three member functions. One is default member, with the default constructor, and another one is with the parameterized constructor with one parameter, and another one next class one is with the two parameters. So first one in rectangle, like this default constructor, we are initialize length as one and width as one. So in parameterized constructor, we are getting only length. So we are assigning both length and width as the side. That is, we are getting side. So one value we are assigning to both length and width. So and at last we are getting both. So length and width we are getting in parameterized. We are getting both length and width. So we are getting both the length and width. So in change function, we are going to declare the object. So first one, rect1 is used. So rect1 is used without passing any parameter. So it automatically without any passing any parameters. And also rect2 is used with passing one parameter. And rect3 is used for passing two parameters. So without passing parameter will be mapped directly to the default constructor, as already the values are being initialized inside the function. So next one, rect2 is passed with one parameter. Here one parameter the program checks, so compiler checks. So here one parameter is passed for this particular constructor. So inside is as passed as parameter. So here both length and width will be assigned to assigned as 5. So next one is rect3 for 5 and 3. Both parameters are passed. That is length and width both are passed. So what can be the output for this program? So we are calculating area for this program on rectangle area. Area of rectangle. So first for rect1, for object rect1, what can be the
1.
For rectangle 2,
5.
Rectangle 3, 50. Okay, same output we got. So now we can see how the constructor overloading works and its benefit. So actually the compiler uses the constructor based on the argument. So we have seen that here in rectangle 1, as rect1, in this object we haven't passed any parameter. So it is mapped to default constructor. And here we have for rect2 we have passed one parameter. So one parameter is mapped to the one constructor with one parameter. So here one value is passed. So it is mapped to this one. So here 2 is passed. So length and with this passed. So here length and with parameter is getting mapped. So that is how the constructor works. So what is the benefit is like we can have flexibility in code and the reusability of the code can be done. So this is about the topic, and this is a small topic in our books. So any doubts in this constructor overloading? Okay. Now we can move on with these questions. So what must differ for constructors to be overloaded? Option A return type, B specifier, C number and type of parameter, and D function. Correct answer. Next one, what happens if constructor have the same parameter list? Only the first one is called, the compiler throws an error, both are called, the default constructor is used. That is two constructor with the same parameter list. Last question. Which of the following is not true about constructor overloading? Constructor can have default arguments. Parameter list must differ. Constructor can have different return types. Overloaded constructor must be defined under the same class. C. Okay, can check that. So, this is your practice question. So take down this.